We just started this with this series called Metemorphosis, and I want to review what we've been talking about this week in week 3. And the Metamorphosis change number 3 is provision flows from an obedient life. And we've been talking about how God owns everything. He owns our time, He owns our money, He owns our very lives, the very breath that we breathe. And so I've got a special guest with us, anchor host, Pastor Matt. And Pastor Matt and I were talking about this issue about how God owns everything. But we were talking about it's deeper than your money. And how can we be more obedient with God's word in regards to other things in our lives? And Pastor Matt, you and I were talking over the phone this week, and we started talking about time, and we realized, you know what, time is one of those things that people, they kind of overlook.
Everybody has 24 hours, and so they pack them full right now of things, so many things, that they don't have time for the most important things. They don't have time to read God's word because they've got to get their kid to 32 different events, and its most important thing is that they have all these things in their lives. And I was talking to a gal just recently, just this week, and they said if they could do something different, their kids are adults now, if they could do something different, she said, we wouldn't have gone to all these sporting events, all the ballet, all the things that we did. She says, that's what I'd do different. That's the thing I regret the most, is we didn't have family time.
And Metamorphosis change number 3 is provision. God provides out of an obedient life. And I think that we see a lot of people, and even our lives, that we struggle with sometimes, where we want God's provision, we want to have a great family, we want to have a great marriage, we want to be a good employee or employer or whatever your situation is. We want to be a good follower of Christ, but we're not obedient.
We also feel like, well, I deserve to be able to spend 2 hours a night in front of the television sucking my mind out.
Great, yeah.
I deserve to have entertainment. I deserve this. And those are the things, the opportunities that we overlook. We miss the chance to raise up our spiritual understanding because we're not reading the Bible. There is some time we could have read the Bible. We don't have time to teach our children the values that we want because we're sitting glued in front of the television getting their values, which are different than our values.
Yep. And we're not saying that those things are bad, but what we're saying is, you always talk about how we choose, we actually trade off the good for the best.
For the best. That's
we
right.
choose the good. Because there's all many of these good things, but then we throw away the best, or we don't have time for the best. And so the message after the message, really, I would encourage the life group leaders or whatever, just dig deeper. It's not just about money. But if you want God to provide for you and His provision for you, it's got to flow out of an obedient life. So maybe it'd start with evaluating your time and where you spend your money, etc., and your priorities. And so
Amen.
That's it. Message behind the message with Pastor Matt. See you next week.